What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we got a whole bunch of new blue Digimon we need to be talking about, including a brand new level 6 MetalPiranhamon that we've never seen in the TCG before. But we do need to start off with a lovely Digitamer. We've got Puyoyomon. Puyoyomon, let's go for that. We got a level 2 here with an inheritable skill. On your turn, once during your turn, when an effect adds a card to your hand, this Digimon gains 1,000 power for the turn. And we know that blue love to draw cards. It's kind of their thing. So, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, we've been doing that since Gammamon, which drew you a card when you played it. I'm not saying that's the only option. We've got many options. But I'm saying that that's a thing. Or the Uppermon, that lovely Digitamer that when you attack, if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution cards, you draw a card. It's the kind of thing we've been doing for a long time in blue, so any blue deck where you are drawing cards in any way, this is clearly a very nice Digitamer to use. But if you're a fan of Ghost Game, you might want to hear a bit more about Jellymon. And obviously, we're going through the evolution line here, so don't be surprised when we're drawing cards, that's pretty obvious. And what we've got here is Jellymon. 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2,000 power. Very standard for a level 3 that's got skills. And on your turn, when you play a blue Tamer, draw a card. Once per turn, obviously. But this is kind of cool. If you're playing a deck that plays a bunch of Tamers, you leave this blue Digimon out, you play a Tamer, draw a card, play a Tamer, draw a card. There is a scenario here where you just leave Jellymon on the field the entire time, so you can keep drawing cards when you play Tamers. That doesn't sound so bad to me. It's a draw engine. And bearing in mind, and I make this point a lot because it's a point that needs to be made often, Digimon as a card game sucks for draw power. It's just not good. So anytime you get extra draw power like this, it's a bonus. You've then got an inheritable skill on your turn once per turn. When an effect adds a card to your hand, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. So once again here, you can see that we're starting to build this up quite nicely, right? You can see how this is going. We've basically got a lovely situation rolling along, where you try drawing cards, and you got cards that draw cards, and you got cards that get bonuses when you draw cards, and this works quite nicely. Sure, you're only returning a level 3 to your opponent's hand, and that's not ideal, because it doesn't give you quite as many options as you might like in other ways, but that's alright, ladies and gentlemen, because you're still hurting your opponent, and that sounds like fun. And then we might as well carry on, and this is really the last one in this evolution line we need to talk about for the moment. We've got Tesla Jellymon. Who doesn't want a bit of the old Tesla Jellymon? 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6,000 power. We've seen a bunch of these level 4s in this set. I don't like 5 cost to play normally, it's not very good, but a 6,000 power is at least higher than normal, so it's not all bad. It's just a little bit sad. And what we've got here is a skill. At the end of your attack, once per turn, you may trash 2 cards in your hand to unsuspend this Digimon. Now, it's very important to note, this is not an inheritable skill, it is a static skill, so you've got to attack with this. And that's a bit of a downside. Now, what you can do is attack, trash 2 cards from your hand, unsuspend, evolve, and then attack with something bigger. That absolutely works. But you do need to bear in mind here that this is slightly upsetting because you've only got 6,000 power. So there is a situation here where you're kind of in a little bit of trouble because you want to attack twice, but if you attack twice, you're attacking twice with a fairly weak Digimon. You have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You have been warned. Let's be clear, though, this is still a very good skill, a very useful skill, a very nice skill, a skill that's going to help you very, very much indeed. So that's that evolution line. While we're here, we can talk very, very quickly about Ebidramon. We don't need to spend long talking about Ebidramon here because we've got a vanilla Digimon. And what we've got here is a 3 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. So the 2 cost to Digivolve is standard. 5,000 power is fine for a level 4. It is on the higher end. But really, the reason to play this card, it is a 3 cost to play level 4 blue. And it is as simple as that. That is it. That is the reason to play it. Now, we have seen a bunch of free cost to play level 4 blue. Tobiamon from BT4 is also 1 cost to Digivolve. So if you're going for pure speed, I'm sorry, I think you've got to go there. Because having cheap to play and cheap to Digivolve is just great. I will say, of all the other Digimon that's free cost to play, 2 cost to Digivolve, this has more power, frankly. So we could put this side by side with the other two. I'm talking about Siegemon from BT2 and Gessamon from BT5. And this just has 1,000 more power. This invalidates those cards. Not to sound rude, but it totally does. This is literally just those cards with an extra 1,000 power. And in that regard, it's really good. It is 3 cost to play, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. Whereas those other two are 3 cost to play, 2 cost to Digivolve, 4,000 power, and we're all just talking about level 4 blue here. So I still think Tobiamon is probably better because you've got that 1 cost to Digivolve, but if you compare it to the other two, I would say at least that this is just a better Digimon, and that's actually kind of lovely. But I think that's all we need to say about that Digimon. Now, while we've been talking about these jellies, we probably should just quickly detour for a second and talk about Kiyashiro Higashimatare. And I'm sorry for the pronunciation there, I apologise. We got a 4-cost Tamer here, and clearly, thematically, we are very much in the same ballpark. It's got that skill we see quite a lot at the start of your turn. If you've got 2 or less memory, put it to 3. That's quite nice. And on your turn, when you attack the Digimon with Jellymon in its name, or a level 5 or higher, and you've got 7 or fewer cards in hand, you may suspend this Tamer to draw a card. And look, drawing a card is going to give you an extra 1,000 power with your Digitama, which is nice. And drawing a card is going to let you put a level 3 back to your opponent's hand with Jellymon, which is nice. Bearing in mind when you play it, Jellymon will also let you draw a card, which is nice. And then Tesla Jellymon, all of a sudden, you know, you're attacking your 7,000 power because of your Digitama, and you get to put one of your opponent's level 3s back, and then you get to draw a card. I can see why you would want to do this. I'm still kind of scared, if I'm honest with you, of having a level 4 attacking multiple times, even if it does have 7,000 power. So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, you've been warned. But still, if you're playing a Jellymon deck, I think it's fair to say that this is going to be a pretty good Tamer to actually go and use. So that's quite nice. And before we move away from level 4s, we should probably talk about KausGammamon, just so we haven't had a chance to talk about this one yet, and I'm sorry. 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6,000 power. So that is quite powerful for a level 4, but it's also expensive to play. The good news is you can Digivolve for 2 from Gammamon. Wait a second, it's a 2 cost to Digivolve normally. How is that an advantage? Because you're Digivolving from Gammamon. Gammamon's not a blue Digimon, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen a few Gammamon, and in Japan, they've actually released a weirdly large amount of Gammamon promos at this stage, and they're all red. So, yeah, this is actually kind of an advantage. So you get to take a red Digimon and then randomly turn it into a blue Digimon when you shouldn't necessarily be able to, which is kind of cool. And also on your turn, it can't be blocked. So if you try to attack a little Digimon, your opponent cannot use a bigger Digimon to save it. That little Digimon will be going down. If you're attacking the stack and your opponent's like, ha ha ha, I will block you, you can be like, ha 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 ha, no you won't. And then they go down and you can feel very happy about yourself and life is good. My point is, it's not a stunning card, but the fact that it can't be blocked and the fact that you can Digivolve a red Gammamon into a blue KausGammamon, that is pretty gosh darn cool. So we've talked Jellyfish and a couple of other random Digimon that didn't fit elsewhere, so we popped them in here. Why don't we have a chat now to finish off about piranhas? Like Piranimon. 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power, and we expect level 5 to be 737 or 838. That's what we generally get from level 5s. So if you're telling me 638, we've got a 6 cost to play normally level 5, yeah, that's actually really, really cool. We've seen a bunch of these, it's not that unusual. We've been around for a while here. But it's still very, very cool. We still like it very much indeed. And in fact, the last time we saw Piranimon back in BT4, it was a 6 cost to play normally and had a nice inheritable skill that trashed the top Digivolution card from one of your opponent's Digimon, which is cool. But that's not the point. We're not talking about that Piranimon. We've got a new Piranimon, ladies and gentlemen. This one's new. And it's got Rush. And that's all you need to know about it. It's got Rush. And Rush is brilliant. Rush, for anyone that's forgotten, lets you attack the turn you play the Digimon. It wins games. We've all seen BT9 be brilliant since it came out. And the reason it's been brilliant since it came out is because it has Rush. And it's not the cheapest Digimon to play ever. It's a 5 cost to play level 3, which isn't ideal. But it can attack the turn you play it. And that means you have one more attack than your opponent is expecting, and having one more attack than your opponent is expecting wins games. It really is as simple as that. We all know that when you're playing Digimon, as you're getting down to the end of the game, the constant calculation is, how many attacks till my opponent wins? How many attacks can they pull off? Well, this Rush just ruins it. Because Rush, now your opponent goes, right, they need 5 attacks, I've only got 4, they can't win next turn. Then you're like, boom, Rush, I win. That's ridiculous. Rush is great and it wins games. But to really understand how good Piranimon is, we need to take a little bit of a look at MetalPiranhamon, because this is where things start getting a little bit nuts. 11 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. All very standard, exactly what we expect. Let's not spend too much time talking about it. And it's only got one skill here, but oh my goodness, it is exactly exactly the skill we are looking for. Because when you attack, you can play a Piranimon from your evolution sources without paying for it. That's ridiculous. Because bearing in mind, you are playing a card that's got Rush. And when you play a card that has got Rush, that means that you can attack straight away. So essentially, you attack with MetalPiranhamon here, except you actually then get 2 attacks. One with MetalPiranhamon, one with Piranimon here. And that is just, it's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is a crazy good skill. And the thing is, this won't surprise your opponent. Not if they know what cards do or have the ability to read. Because obviously what's going to happen is your opponent's going to see that a Piranimon goes into a MetalPiranhamon and they're going to go, oh yeah, okay, fine. I see what you're doing here, mate. I see where you're going with this. But who really cares? There's a difference between they know where you're going with it and they can stop you. And if they can't stop you, this is great. If nothing else, this just makes your opponent look at you and go, oh, they can get an extra attack off. Like, that's annoying, right? That's got to be super annoying. And that's where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen. That's why this is so gosh darn cool. Quite frankly, this is a very exciting card. And what you can do essentially here is play Piranimon with Rush, and then Digivolve into Piranimon, and then next turn you attack, and then play again and Rush again. So you get to attack Piranimon 2 turns in a row with Rush. It really is kind of a little bit silly. It's one of my favourite combos we've seen from BT9. It is absolutely brilliant. I think Piranimon and MetalPiranhamon are 2 of the stars of this set so far for me. And it's a common level 6. And for what it's worth, right, Piranimon is also a common. In a pauper format, that is where you can only play kind of commons and uncommons, maybe rares, no matter which way they go. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. This is, if nothing else, is going to be phenomenal in that kind of format. But I really do think this one's got a chance to be really genuinely good, and that makes me very happy indeed. But before we finish, there are a couple of other blue cards we need to just finish up a little bit here. There have been so many reveals lately that it is kind of at times it's a little bit hard to keep up. And I don't say that as a negative. I love having lots of Digimon stuff to talk about, so we can have a chat about a couple of other cards as well. So I've already told you about a vanilla level 4. We've also got a vanilla level 3 here. It's Canimon. And like so many Digimon we've seen in the past, what we've got here is a 2 cost to play level 3 with 3,000 power. And we've seen this before. This is a fairly standard Digimon thing that we see. This is very much your cheap to play level 3. And the thing is, we've seen this before. In blue, we've got the Armadillomon from BT1. We've got the Elecmon from BT1. Armadillomon, incidentally, has 1 cost to Digivolve and 4,000 power. Don't play that one. And then we've got the Goemamon from Starter Deck 2. So really, we've got now Elecmon, Goemamon, and this. And this is cool. Do we need another one? Maybe. I mean, it really depends. How many of these do you want? If you want to be playing 12 of these in your deck, then actually, yeah. We did need another one of these. It's nice to have the option to play a ridiculous amount of them if you like. It's nothing particularly new or exciting, we've seen it before, but it's there, and that's kind of cool. And of course, if we're going to have a vanilla level 3 and a level 4, it only makes sense that we have a vanilla level 5 as well. We've got Hangymon here, and Hangymon is another vanilla, 7 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 8,000 power. The 8,000 power is slightly higher than normal, but really here we're talking about a blue level 5 that is a 2 cost to Digivolve. Simple as that. That is the hook here. Because 7 cost to play isn't that cheap. 8,000 power is fine, but it's not phenomenal. So what we've got here is a level 5 that is a 2 cost to Digivolve. I still don't like it as much as I like Monzemon here. I mainly just love Monzemon. But Monzemon's also a 5 cost to play normally, and I still think that's better. We've got other 2 cost to Digivolve Digimon in level 5 blue, but I still think that you also want, if you're going for cheap, go cheap. Play a Digimon that's also cheap to play normally, so I still think the Monzemon is the best option here. And then while we're talking Jellyfish, we might as well have a little bit of a look at the Jellyfish option card. We've got BB Thunder here, 4 cost option card. Return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. Then if you have a Digimon in play with Jellymon in its name, or with Jellymon in its Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's Tamers to its owner's hand. Again, it is a card that you can only really play if you're playing a Jellymon deck. But if you are playing a Jellymon deck, then all of a sudden you get rid of one of your opponent's Digimon, level 4 or lower, and one of their Tamers. That seems like a pretty good deal, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go, lots of new reveals to talk about in this particular video. We had to get through them, we did get through them. I'm a little bit proud of ourselves. I still think that Piranimon and MetalPiranhamon, though, are the absolute stars of this video. But don't sleep on those jellies that draw cards and take advantage of drawing cards, because I think we could be seeing more of them down the line. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all the cards we've talked about in this particular video. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.